Good evening, you're watching AFL NT's coverage of the 2022-23 TIO NTFL season from TIO Stadium here in Darwin on Larrakia country. We're here for round 12 action of the Men's Premier League competition. St Mary's taking on PINT, and this weekend in the NTFL it's the no more round. My name is Nick Danks. My commentary partner this evening is Ashley Manakaris. Ash, how are you this evening, mate?
Very well. Actually looking forward to this game. It's a real measure tonight to see just where PINTs are on their journey inside the NTFL in their debut Premier League season. They've had a couple of good rounds and a couple of good weeks. We've seen one of their good games and we commentated that together where they really put on a show and took Waratahs to the line, and then they came up with a draw last week. So let's just see how they go against St Mary's. Of course, the last time these two teams met, PINTs beat St Mary's over at DXC Arena.
Yeah, it was the first home game ever for PINT at their DXC Arena in round 3. They won by 31 points. As you said, last week PINT drew with the Bombers and St Mary's lost 10 points to the ladder leaders Southern Districts, who had another big win today, going well away in the ladder. Just quickly in other games today, Darwin Buffs defeated the Tiwi Bombers by 58 points. In the top of the table clash at Gardens Oval, Southern Districts defeated Waratah by 28 points. And the game you just called just before this one, the Tigers defeating Palmerston, a desperate win for the Tigers, beating the Magpies by 12 points. Who do you expect to win today?
Well, I actually think that St Mary's will have too much balance across the ground, and I think that they'll actually do the best again today. Umpires today, Kylan Beach will start play. He's making his debut. Jordan Pearson is an AFLW umpire. She did the preliminary final this year, and Tim Bitterscombe, the umpires in green, in control. As we get underway here at TIO Stadium, it'll be Chiswell for St Mary's against the big man Brock Carter. Carter got his hands down on it first, on hands and knees. In there is Taylor, and also is his teammate is Thomas Schott. It's going to bounce forward. Jacob Long was in there, couldn't quite get it clean hands, drags his opponent out, throws him to the ground, and PINTs there. Just Henry Tregerweth will hold it up, and the ball will be thrown up in the true centre half forward position. Carter with his hands on it. Paredes, free kick's been found, and it's going to go to Carter. Brock Carter has been one of PINT's better players since the start of the season. He sends it up forward to full forward. In there though, taking a very strong mark, is Jellyman Turner, and he has been a running defender. He gives it off to Jacob Long. Long's kick isn't great, but he's picked out his teammate in Harrison Ling. Ling slows it down, then sends it out to centre wing, and it's off his teammate's hands in Braith Hodges, and the youngster couldn't quite get clean possession on it, just went over the top, and the ball will be thrown in again. Chiswell, new name to this lineup, haven't seen him play yet. Carter, Jellyman Turner's moved forward, picked up by Thomas Schott for PINTs. Schott sends it forward, punched away. Green Machine over the back, comes to Jacob Long. He can go sideways, and he does. Picks out Parnell, shows it one-handed, then gives it over the top to the running Joseph Salmon. But he's not so quick as to beat the boundary line.
It's a lovely night here at TIO Stadium. 28 degrees, not a breath of wind in either direction, so no favouritism at the moment as we're waiting to bring this ball back in.
No, PINTs have a real opportunity here to get themselves a little bit closer to that final five. Lewis George got taken high, and there's a hold off the ball, and it's going to go to Braden Taylor. He's been PINTs what I would regard as their serial pest in the last few weeks.
Certainly has.
He really has got under the skin of some of his opponents. And he picks out his own teammate in Henry Tregerweth. And Tregerweth started the seasons in the reserves and made his way up front and has kept his spot. Over the top. Thought he could bring it down there was Brad Ryan. Chiswell couldn't get clean. And him and Carter went at each other. And the ball has gone out of bounds. Trotter there. Going to retrieve it. Jet Trotter, been very good up forward for PINTs. And they will need him on his A game tonight. Carter with hands down. Comes to Jellyman Turner, quick hands over the top. Shot, had a few possessions already. It's picked up and snapped over the shoulder by Alex Harvey, and the bouncing ball, though, has bounced to the left of that point post. So first real deliberate shot at goal has come from PINTs.
Yeah, well, they haven't managed to get past the halfway line yet. St Mary's have had a bit of control of the ball in the back line, but they're just not breaking through early, and Pint's controlling it.
Tap forward, punched away by Oborne. Quick hands to Paredes. Paredes on to Lant. Dylan Lant just sends it up to centre half forward looking for Grenfell. Oh, he just had a little duck of the head when he went for the ball. Now it's going to bounce over the top and it's going to come to Matty Ryan. Matty Ryan can give a quick kick sideways to his teammate in McMahon. McMahon was good, has been good the last few weeks to Shot. Shot's got a runner out wide, and that runner is Patrick Doyle. So they get prepared to run off their half back line. Doyle goes into George, Lewis George. Lewis George just puts it straight on the boot looking for Trotter, and he finds him.
Nice mark.
Yeah, Jet Trotter with 2 little bites there at the ball. Comes down with it the second time.
Looked good kid coming out there. Pint did a couple of nice touches. They were out here on the grandstand wing, and they've managed that well for a shot on goal.
No one got a hand on it there from St Mary's. Shannon Motlop really, the coach of Pints, really drilling in some discipline as Jet Trotter comes in on his left, and in his effort for distance, pulled it slightly to the right and through for a point. Jacob Long will restart quickly. Sends it way outside the 50. It's a good kick from him. They try and set things up. And it's a turnover that'll go to Ethan Smith from Pints. Smith onto Braden Taylor. Taylor then goes back out wide where he's got the big man, Andrew Jones. So they can set it up. Pints
did that well.
Yeah.
Pointed to the goal square. They all went back a little bit there, St Mary's, and then
picks out Trotter again.
Trotter runs into that open position. So
Trotter with his second shot at goal. This one from a harder angle and probably a little bit further out. It's on that right side, although it's probably going to suit the left footer. Having a shot at goal from this side. So Trotter. Yeah. Much better position as far as he's concerned with the left foot, but this time he sprays it to the left and through for a point. So Pints have just got the 2 points.
They've gone to 3 now.
3 points?
Yep, 3 points at the 6-minute mark. St Mary's just can't get over the halfway line at the moment. A couple of times slightly into the 50, but they're just not breaking through.
Oh, the pressure came on there. Tregoworth. Here they go again, Pints. This time it's looking better, and it's straight into the hands of Silver Youssef, who just drifted down at the back of his opponent and gave them a target.
He's had a pretty good first season with them. He's been a pest again, as you said the other week as well. He played a pretty good game the last time we saw Pint play.
Yeah, he's got a bit of pace about him. Yep. Nicknamed Quicksilver at the club. Silver Youssef comes in, makes no mistake, and puts the Green Ants' first goal on the board.
1 goal, 3 to Pint.
We're going to go back into the middle there. I don't know if we'll get a replay of that. Yeah, here we go. We're just looking at the turnover. Good pressure. Tregoworth got taken high, and then it was just play on. And right there is Silver Youssef. So good awareness, good vision. Got him at the back. And the Green Ants just jump out of the gates a little bit quickly. We've seen this. We've seen them do this over the last few rounds. And then they've backed it up with very large third quarters. Great bounce there from the umpire. Over the top. Here they go again. Matt Ryan got his hands on it. So too did Chalmers. Umpire says, give it to me.
Good call there by the umpire. Very little chance to get rid of that ball. The only one going for it, and it had no chance to get rid of it. No.
Clearly they've decided to put pressure onto Nathan Paredes. Dylan Lant with a quick kick up and under will travel the distance. It's going to come down. Bowden was in there on his hands and knees, wrapped up, and again, no prior opportunity. Well, I think what you're going to see there, Nick, is Paredes is going to be marked. Jones, punched out by Ryan Smith in the ruck. And Yaron can pick it up. He just taps it forward, though. Now he just shovels it forward to Land. Land can't get clean possession. Chalmers, quick hands onto Smith. Smith just hurried the kick away. Oborn waited for it to bounce. Braden Taylor with a handball over the top. Pints can set this up here. Taylor's got to give a handball over to his running teammate in McMahon. McMahon puts it on the boot looking for the lead, and the lead comes from Trotter. He's too far out to score, you would think. He's going to have to put it on the boot in the front of the square, and he does. Yusuf presents himself, but it comes over the back and has landed in the hands of Ciavarella.
Yeah, we knew he was out of his range there after his last couple of shots, and he was looking for somebody, a couple of guys running for him, and Ciavarellas actually run into that one very, very nicely. Going to line it up here now for Pint second.
Well, he had the choice of two.
Yep.
He could have gone to Yusuf. He chose Ciavarella. And Ciavarella is directly in front. He's only going to kick from, he might be 40. Directly in front. And I think he snuck that into the point to the left of the goalpost, and it's all clear.
So 2 goals, 2-14. St Mary's yet to score, and St Mary's are really struggling to get over that halfway line. They're just breaking down. A couple of bad mistakes, but hopefully they'll pick those up as we go along. And as you said earlier, Pint have done this all year. They've looked really good in the first quarter, apart from the first game against Nightcliff in the wet, but they have outstanding third quarters. So St Mary's want to get back in this one real soon.
Yeah, as we saw Trotter there just pick out Ciavarella. It was a very good pass. Well weighted. Ciavarella just had to mark it on his chest, and he did that. Didn't let him down. Chiswell into the ruck. Brock Carter has gone back in there for Pints. Some good matchups around the ground. Carter got hands on it twice. Lant trying to clean it up. Comes out wide to Ethan Bowden. Bowden with a left foot kick. Just sending it out to the running teammate. And that's Luke Hillier. Hillier can get it and turn. He's got to look back in board. He's got to go way back, and he does. And he finds Jellyman Turner. Jellyman Turner's come down from half-back, plays on quickly. He's got the running Jacob Long, who's come down from full-back. Jacob Long puts it up in front of Salmon. It's going to go over his head, though. Well, we haven't seen anything of Jackson Calder yet, and haven't really seen anything of Braden Grenfell either.
Absolutely. I don't think you've called their names at all tonight. I know we're only 10 minutes or so into the first quarter, but a couple of the big stars out of St Mary's haven't had an opportunity, but they haven't managed to get it forward either. This is their first foray forward, really.
It is, and the possession in still, they didn't present themselves as Carter knocks it forward. Picked up, though, by Chalmers. Chalmers gives it over to a running teammate in Harvey. Harvey just puts it on the boot. Punched away from Braden Taylor, who earned the free. In fact, it was Tregoeth who earned the free kick as a consequence. Just a little bit high in that contest was Jacob Long. And then he goes sideways. Chalmers, Thomas Schott. We can get out of it here. Harvey. Ooh. Oh, it was intercepted there by Land. This will be danger from St Mary's. It's just a bouncing ball, bounces up, coming straight through with good body there was Tom Gayden.
Lovely piece of speed as well. He picked that up really early, but it's going to... Oh.
And Lewis George is on the receiving end of a kick across the corridors, which was risky, but they might get out of it here, Pints, and they do through Sylvie Yusuf. Across half back is Yusuf. Goes in board. It's the big man, McMahon. McMahon, again, sideways, finds Harvey. They're just maintaining possession here. Good contest. Free kick's been found. Go to Carter. Off to the running McMahon. McMahon, right foot. Trotter, taken out in the contest, and a free kick's been paid.
Pint are taking their time at the back line there. A couple of nice chip across, and then they go. When they put their foot down, they're going pretty quickly.
No, and how good has Trotter been early?
Absolutely.
In terms of presenting himself, Nick?
Yep.
He's a busy forward, and with the big ground of the TIO Stadium here, as Trotter sets it up, and again just pushes it to the left, but the big ground would suit his style of play. As Saints bring it out. Jellyman Turner just sends it up. Off hands of Hodges. Wrapped up and high. Yaron is in there on top. against Matt Ryan. Giswell. Carter took front position. Yusuf's in there. Yaron burrows in under. He's got a hold of it, but it's held to him. 13.5 minutes gone here. 2-3-15 plays no score from St Mary's. Carter wins out. Overrunning it was Ryan. Socket off the ground by Yaron. It's going to bounce free, but I think Pints will lead it. Calder is in there. Oh, just picking it up beautifully there was Ted Castle. Sends it straight into the middle corridor. And it's a good mark there taken by Lant.
First opportunity for St Mary's. A nice turn of pace there.
Yep, the first time that they've really been able to get it into that middle corridor cleanly. And Lant had to work for it in the contested possession space. And Dylan Lant will go back and have a shot at goal. Well, they really need this one,
Absolutely,
Nick.
they're going to need this one to settle themselves down. Pint have come out in full force, and this is the St Mary's first opportunity. No breeze.
And he has just sent that to the right. Well, he kicked it with intent.
Yeah, it looked on there for a while. The goal umpire moved at the very last moment as they come out. They're out here on the far wing.
Smythe giving it off to Doyle. Doyle's handball bounces up to McMahon, who then has to go back inboard to his right foot. He sends it up the line, and gee, that's a good mark there. As they have a look further up. Pints just sets it up. Chalmers is in there. He's got it at the back, but he's under pressure from Jacob Long. Gives a hurried handball out. Now it comes to Paredes. Paredes got a step around Yusuf and then has a hurried bounce. Looking for Yaron. It's punched away from him. Palmerston with Pints with momentum forward. Taylor puts the pressure on his opponent. Lant with body came flying through. Braden Taylor again. Hodges got taken high but hurried. Calder was in there. Now he's got it, Calder, and he has a bounce. He can get to the 50 and line it up here from inside the 50. It bounces and bounced through for a point. Hit the post on the way through.
His forward line teammates didn't give him much to shoot for there. They all ran away slightly. Should have given him a bit more opportunity in the forward line. But he took it and missed it.
Smythe uses up all his yardage and then has a bounce as well. Comes to Jones. So the big man Jones plays on, goes across. Hand over there was Shot. Shot got it. Jellyman Turner with a little bit of body, just enough to unsettle him. Comes to Paredes, who can have a bounce in the circle. Paredes with a right foot kick up. Calder sets himself, punched away from him, loose on the ground. Little right chip over the top and will go out of bounds.
So St Mary's on 2 points, Pints on 21, just coming up to the 17th minute mark of the first quarter, and it's been all Pints so far.
Yeah, they are putting the pressure on up back and really making Saints work for everything they get. Grenfell in the ruck. Taylor at Braden Taylor over the top for Pints. They're really trying to get it out. Comes out through Lewis George. George with a quick kick. Gives it over the top to his teammate running in Brad Ryan. Ryan has a chance to get control and then look up. Looks for Trotter. Handball over the top. Really putting on this Chalmers. Chalmers with good use of the body. Now with a hurried kick up. Oh, Sylvie Yusuf just nudged underneath it. Kieran Parnell. Clever. Oh, bounced over his shoulder though. Tregowyth gives it back to Sylvie Yusuf. Yusuf's got to use his left foot, which I don't think he does too often. And it's going to bounce through for a point. There was a push in the marking contest against Ryan Smith, asking the question, and it'll go to that man, Jet Trotter. Trotter plays on quickly and puts it through for Pints third.
Yep, they were definitely out there, and the problem then with St Mary's coming out, even though he did mess up the bounce, had a look down the ground, he had absolutely nothing to kick to. So it was going to come back pretty quickly anyway, because there was about 3 Pint players here on the wing and nothing down the wing for him at all at St Mary's. So I think that's why he decided to take that extra bounce, and from there on he got himself into real trouble. But this isn't the start of the game I thought is expected. Pine have played well this season. The AFLN team must be really happy that they promoted to the Premier League after this season, but they've come out of the blocks tonight, 27 points to 2 in the 18th minute mark, or coming up to the 19th minute mark of the first quarter.
Well, I'm really impressed with the confidence that they're playing with. They're not intimidated by St Mary's. And in fact, the games that I've watched Pines play this year, they haven't been intimidated by their opponents at all. And we're seeing that again tonight. I think that as good as DXC Arena is, Nick, I think playing on TIO Stadium, the bigger open spaces suits what Shannon Motlop is trying to achieve with his side in terms of the way they're structuring. As we go back into the middle, Jones is up against Ryan Smith. One out by Jones. Braden Taylor again. The pest got his hands on it. Mullane was in there. Now it's shaped away by a shot. Picked up though by Hodges. Put on the boot. Sent straight in. In there is Grenfell. Grenfell's up against Doyle. Doyle trying to get possession of it. And a free kick's been found, and it'll go to Patrick Doyle, I'd say. He was held off the ball. And the Green Ants, again, will have the ability to relieve the pressure in the defensive 50. Doyle looks up, doesn't have a huge number of options. Can go short if he wants to the big man Jones, ignores him, puts it on the lead, and it's a good grab there, just taken by Matt Ryan. And Ryan...
He's taken a couple of good ones out there today.
He has. He's a co-captain. He can look up field, and he does, but he's going to have to go long and high and kick to a contest. His target was Carter, who was there with Chiswell. And the ball will be thrown in. Body on body. Brock Carter. Chiswell front position. Carter managed to get it away. Paredes got it. Then spun around and put it straight on the boot. Calder's in there. So is Nicky Yarran. Yarran quick. Gives it back to Dylan Lant, who chips it over the top looking for Calder. Calder can't get it cleanly. Picked up, though, by his opponent. And the handball was unluckily. Tom Gaydon was in there. And the handball just came off hands and will go out of bounds.
Pint just seem to have about half a second more than St Mary's are. And so everything St Mary's are doing is rushed tonight so far.
They've got players around the ball as Grenfell. It ends up in Doyle's hands. He gets wrapped up quickly by Lant and can't get rid of it. And so again, in fact, it wasn't Lant. It's Luke Hillier. Oh, it comes to Grenfell. He has his kick smothered. Picked up by Jellyman Turner with a over-the-head kick and hope. Calder can't get it. In the back there was Yarran. So too is Lant. Socket off the ground by Salmon, but through for a point.
3 or 4 opportunities there for St Mary's, but still haven't got a goal in the game. 3 points that they've got. It's 3-3 to Pint. 21 points.
Bring it out deep. Big man Jones, Chiswell over the top. Yusuf tries to soccer it off the ground. Hillier can get it. He gets wrapped up quickly, though, by Corey Tim. Now it comes to Taylor, who gave it off to Shot. Shot's handball went to his teammate Flanagan, who got caught, and the ball goes back, and it'll end up with Bo Tedcastle, the youngster. He plays on, runs around his opponent, and from 50, it's a wobbly old kick that's going to drop short. Yarran is there to pick up the pieces. Left foot snap, goes at goal, and the skipper leads. Well, I've just elevated Nicky Yarran to skipper at St Mary's. Of course, Nate Paredes is, but either way, Nicky Yarran, great goal. Read that beautifully off the pack.
Yeah, took a couple of mistakes though. A good turn though, off the mark, beat the guy on the mark, dropped it in.
Not a great looking kick, Nick.
No, a bit very messy here and very unlucky Pintworth for the bounce. That odd-shaped ball just does it occasionally for you, and it did there for Nicky Yarran, and St Mary's are on the board.
Good pressure though. Ethan Smith was unlucky not to get a fingertip on that. Well, they're finally on the board. 21 plays 9. As the ball will be thrown up after a wayward bounce. One out by Carter. Then quickly off the boot of Alex Harvey. It's going to bounce in front of Sia Varela. Ashley Mullane. Ciavarella just puts it hurriedly onto the boot. It's up and under. Bounced away from everyone, picked up by Jellyman Turner. He has been very consistent for St Mary's the last few weeks. Comes to Salmon. Salmon over the top. Hillier. Body on body. And I think that Ben Smythe came out of that second best. Free kick actually is going to go to Luke Hillier with either a push or a high. And it'll come across to Jacob Long now. He has time to really look up and set them up beautifully. And just as he does, the siren sounds, but play will be stopped as the kick was well and truly after the siren sounded.
Absolutely. Round 12 action here for the Men's Premier League. St Mary's taking on Pints at quarter time. 1-3 night to St Mary's, 3-3 to Pints, 21, as we'll back with you shortly.
This afternoon here at TIO Stadium. To the left of your radio they go.
Wow, what a goal to start the game.
Oh, picked up by McCarr. Beautiful. Goes for home and has nailed an absolute ripstorter. From the pocket, and he's digged an absolute ripper.
You're watching AFL-NT's coverage of the 2022-23 TIO NTFL season. We're here with Premier League action. St Mary's taking on PINT, and the game's already got underway very quickly.
Straight away back in the middle, it was Thomas Schott that got rid of it, and he's up to Jackson Calder. Calder gets it, puts it on the boot for Saints, looking for something, looking to lift and spark. They're well held by PINTs in that first quarter, and the holding the ball decision will go against Andrew Jones. I think the big man got caught there, was it?
Yeah, I think so. And then, of course, he didn't hear the whistle, so kept going and copped another one for his troubles as well. But this could get St Mary's the score one late in that first quarter. They get this one, they're right back, obviously, and then only one goal the difference if they can pop this one through.
Well, Mitch Musgrove going back to have the shot here. Just sets it up, goes across the face of there.
Yeah, long way.
They have been... They've had opportunities as a green machine, just can't convert them. 21 plays 9. As we see the ball brought back in here. Looking for Brock Carter. The big man sets himself, then punches it up and takes the mark in front of Chiswell. These two are going to have a battle most of the night. Brock Carter over the top. At the back there, though, was his a teammate, was Brad Ryan. Straight in board, leadering is Trotter. Trotter couldn't quite get clean possession and got a bit of a nudge in the back, and Trotter, moving forward, will go back and have a free kick.
He's had a night out tonight already.
No,
only had a couple of minutes, but he's certainly been in everything.
He has, and it's only early in this second term. But I must say, I think he had about 5 or 6 possessions in that first quarter, and I think 3 or 4 of them were shots on goal.
Yep.
That's what you want out of a small forward. As Jet Trotter will probably kick from just inside the 50, and he does. It's a long bomb inside the square, off hands and through for a point.
I'm pretty sure if he left that one alone, it might have gone through, but he probably didn't know where he was on the goal line if someone was behind him. But,
no.
It looked like it had cleared the pack, and I thought he was just going to shepherd that one through, but unlucky there.
Comes out to Long. Matty Green just going short. Long has to go back, and he does. They just run around him here. Harrison Ling looking for Chiswell. Chiswell's got 2 on 1. There's a fair few white jerseys there from PINTs. Oh, just Hillier couldn't get clean possession. Now it comes out through courtesy of Corey Tim. Braden Taylor again onto Lewis George. He didn't look, he just kicked. Looking for Yusuf's in there at the moment. Again, Trotter earns a free kick.
Yep.
Advantage has been paid to Sylvie Yusuf, who had to hurry as a consequence and has gone out of bounds on the full. Trotter again getting his head over the ball and earning a kick. Damned if you do, if you play on.
Absolutely.
Damned if you don't.
From there, take it back, take your time and settle down. But as you said before in the middle, lots of white Guernseys everywhere at the moment in the centre of the field. They're hunting in packs.
Calder with hands across the top. Touch, play on is the call. Umpire having nothing of it. Comes to Jellyman Turner with a bit of pace. Has a bounce, has a run through centre wing. Grenfell, body from Doyle, under pressure from Yaron. But Doyle is up to it. Picks it up, gives it off to McMahon. McMahon goes sideways. Picks out a teammate. And then he wants it back, does McMahon. He's got Doyle flat with him if he wants to go to him. He doesn't and wants to go over the top instead to Ben Smythe. Smythe. He's got the lead. And the lead comes from this time is Brad Ryan. So they're throwing it around, keeping possession. Ryan looks for Yusuf, but it's going to be chopped off by Chalmers. Chalmers plays on. In fact, it wasn't Chalmers. It was Tim. Comes to the front. And Carter.
Nice mark.
The big ruckman has taken the mark in front of everyone. And a 50's been paid. And not sure what that was about, whether or not Carter got taken to the ground afterwards. We might see it on the replay if we go back far enough as to why it was, as Carter just strolls in casually and kicks PINT's 5th goal. Fourth goal.
Fourth goal. 4 goals, 4-28 to St Mary's. 1 goal for 10. So a 3-goal lead, 18 points lead here. And Pint a good start, as you said. There's nothing there.
No, Corey Tim just looks up forward, and then he's got a kick to a contest. And we see Carter there. So Carter gets his hands on it. And not quite sure what happens next. Or is it Oborn?
Yeah.
So Oborn's come from behind the mark to stand in front, which is why the 50's been paid.
And he knew it straight away, put his hands up. As soon as he took the step in there, he knew what he'd done. And the umpire helped him and gave away the free.
Jones. One out by Ryan Smith, though. Comes to Nate Paredes. Paredes dances around and then just put it up towards Jackson Calder territory. Grenfell coming out with body. Calder can't get clean hands. Salmon picks it up, spins and put it on the boot. And as part of that spin, he carried it around too far to the left, going out of bounds. Reasonable field position as far as St Mary's are concerned. They've got the work cut out for them, though, St Mary's at the moment. I'm not seeing anything that tells me that they can get on top, but there's a long way to go in this game. Salmon spun into trouble. Shot, wrapped up, and waited a long time to get an opportunity. No prior was allowed and was deemed, and he will be the last one up off the ground. Punched away by Grenfell from Saints. Lant couldn't get it cleanly. Oborn's in there with body. Braden Taylor diving on top. Gets a little bit of a nudge.
Yeah, I don't think it's coming out. St Mary's were the form side of the competition up until last week's loss to Southern Districts, but they are the ladder leaders, but they're not looking anything like that tonight.
No, they dropped off and they were well beat out at Fred's Pass last week from all reports. Nate Paredes just lets it go off the ground. It's danger here, though, for the Green Ants. Braith Hodges couldn't get a clean foot to it. Yaron Ken, though, with his second snap.
He's put it wide. And
he's put it to the left. And for a point, well, he kicked his first one, was a snap at goal in much similar circumstances.
1 goal, 4-10 to St Mary's, 4-5, 29 to Pint.
Shot. Right out on the 50 paint with Joseph Salmon. Play on is the call. He stepped around. Couldn't quite get it, was Matty Ryan. Come off his fingertips. And will be thrown in. They get it out of danger. Jones versus Smith. One out by Smith. Wrapped up was Shot. Wrapping up his opponent. And that was Lant. Smith again just punches it away. Yaron leads the race to the ball. Couldn't get it cleanly. Comes back in again, trying to get it this time. Lant, just with a hurried kick off the boot, goes into the full forward square. Grenfell, Calder was the flyer in the air, punched away from him. They're just trying to keep it moving forward. Ted Castle's in there. He can't get it. Pints just pick it up and try and drag it out. And play will stop and will be restarted.
It's about the half a dozen ball up in this area so far in this quarter. Pine have done really well to lock this ball in. They just need to come out of there now.
And it comes out. Ryan Smith in the air versus Thompson. Comes back in board. And Jellyman Turner just sends it in the full forward direction. And it's going to be marked and settled down. So they have an opportunity here, the Green Ants. Now, can they relieve any of the pressure? There's not many options available to them, Nick. So they've got to kick to contest. And Smith is at the heart of it. Salmon Turner just gave it away. Tregoeth got cleaned up without possession and will earn a free kick, you would think.
Yeah, he never took the hold of that ball and just got unlucky there because he thought he was going to grab it but didn't do it.
Right.
They could come out here, though.
A shot. He goes sideways. So Ryan balks. Now he kicks. Now they're just keeping it moving forward. Doesn't matter how it's done. Picked up, though, by Matty Green. Green probably a NTFL representative candidate, you would think, for next year's game against South Fremantle. He's been very good so far. Dylan Lant having earned a free kick there right on the boundary line. Saints just persevering and trying to keep those Pints defenders under pressure, but the Pints defenders to date have been up to the mark. 10.5 minutes gone here. It's 4-4-28. Plays 1-5-11. 8 scoring shots to 6. Nick, there's...
It's not been what I expected when I got here this evening.
No.
I thought St Mary's would show a bit more free-flowing football, but hopefully they will shortly.
Here we go.
Better.
Yeah, they've moved it forward. It was better constructed than that passage. Just bringing it around and trying to guide it through, and touched on the line was Ted Castle. Greenhands come right out looking for Corey Tim. Marking infringement. This time they're coming back in again. And there was a tackle after disposal. And it will be downfield. And it was Lachlan Stenning who got taken down. And Jackson Calder says, give it to me, I'll have the shot.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to go to him. I think it's got to go to Yaron. And Yaron will go right onto the line. And it will be a gimme goal, and they get their second.
Yep. So Nicholas Yaron with the second. St Mary's 2 goals, 6-18 at Pint, 4-4-28. St Mary's in another couple, you would think, in this quarter, because one thing, as we've said earlier, Pint have been outstanding in their third quarters this season. Every game we've been to, I've probably been about half a dozen Pint games this year, and every time they've looked good. Even in the wet against Nightcliff in that very first game of the season, they had a very good third quarter. So I don't know what he says to them at half time, but they seem to come out fired up. And so St Mary's want to get themselves a bit closer, you would think, to make this game a bit more of a contest. That's about the best free-flowing football. It took a free kick to get the goal, but they do look better when they're running the ball by hand. Yeah,
St Mary's do, and that's always been a big part of their game. Big part of their game over the years. They're running free flowers. Chiswell versus Carter. One out by Carter. It falls in the hands of Braden Taylor. Taylor just sends it up, but it's Parnell equal to it on his chest. He's another representative candidate for next year in the January Australia Day weekend. Bowden had it, then slipped over, but his kick will be intercepted and it'll go to Chalmers. Chalmers will go across field and find Ciavarelli. Ciavarella will go to Mullane. Bounces in front of him, but Mullane is up to it. Gets it one time. McMahon had it spent before he got it.
Yep.
Now it goes back to Ciavarella. Ciavarella puts it on the boot, and again, spent before he had it. That time was Hodges. Dives on his opponent's back. Trago with advantage. Advantage paid. Picked up there. Up forward. It looks like McMahon. No, in fact, it is. Ryan has taken a great mark, and Brad Ryan will go back and have a shot at goal. Breathing pretty heavily is the big foe. And he just runs around and right foot snap, puts it through.
That's St Mary's fifth, 5 goals, 4-34 to 2-6-18. Pint have been looking really good again when they go forward, and but very lucky ball there. Got it away, play on call for a tackle, and Ryan just called for it early and got picked out. The big fella did.
Yeah, he did. Musgrove was sort of stuck in a position of no man's land, and the actual delivery to him was pretty good. So there wasn't too much Mitch Musgrove could do there. Pints, that was a good response actually after Saints scored that goal. It was Braden Taylor who cleared that ball out as Brock Carter, and comes to Taylor again, but he's worried off it by Paredes. Paredes then sends it upfield. Can't quite get there. Xavier Vallejo. Out it comes, Taylor. Not a great handball. Comes to Big Carter. Brock Carter just sends it out into space. Yusuf's there. So too is Brad Ryan. Tapped away, Hodges. beats one, handballs to no one really. He's just under pressure. Sliding on the ground was clever, Jellyman, and then up and on his feet and on the boot. Vallejo's there, tapped to him from Calder, but it's just a little bit too hot for him. Over the top, Vallejo came in with a quick hands off the ground, but a free kick has been found. It'll go to Pints.
Yeah, kicking in danger there. The only one went down for the ball was the Pint player, and he went through with his boot. He was always going to get pinged for that.
And they go back. They're really just, they're structured with the way that they're prepared to go back just to set it up for themselves. As Chiswell earned a free kick there. Carter had a big grab of jumper. Chiswell just gives it straight off to Hillier. Hillier goes forward and picks out his teammate, and that's Ted Castle. So Bo Ted Castle, the youngster, can go back and have a shot. And 45-degree angle. He'll kick from about 35 out.
Very slight breeze into his face at the moment, but very slight.
Not a bad looking kick off the boot. Sounded good. Jackson Calder liked it, and the all clear is given.
Yeah, goal umpire didn't move at all, and then, as I said, kicking into a very, very slight breeze. Beautiful night for football here. 28 degrees in the top end at TIO Stadium in Darwin, and it doesn't get any better this night for footy up here.
No, and the competition hasn't been too bad this year at all, Nick. You could throw a blanket over the top 5 or 6 teams. That's how close it is. Ted Castle there. Two bites of the cherry, but he brought it down. You could throw a blanket over these teams, and it's a testament to how well the sides have done in terms of recruiting, but also how much work they've put on in the off-season. Yeah,
the couple of worrying sides at the moment. We'll talk about as the day goes on. Palmerston hit a bit of a wall again today, and have been the last couple of weeks.
One out by Ryan Smith. Didn't really have a contest. But again, it was Harvey and Pints that get the clearance away. Diving on it is Taylor. Dragged off it. Yusuf's in there. And a hold. Didn't have possession. And it was Parnell that was dragged off the ball. And he gets the free kick. He ignores Jellyman Turner, who went for a bit of a run. He ignores everyone else. He's going to have a kick now. Or is he going to wait? No, he'll play on. He's got Green that's come all the way down from fullback, looking for Calder. Punched away from him, lands in the hands of Lant. Lant looking for Grenfell. Punched away from the big fella, bouncing. Calder just charging through. Couldn't get it on the first bounce. And bounces off his chest and out of bounds. Yeah, Palmerston have got, Palmerston led for 3.5 quarters, Nick.
Yep.
And eventually got a little bit run over in the end there. Don't know that they were expecting that. And of course, Tiwi was well beaten today by Darwin. Paredes dragged off it. So he goes back for a second chance. Comes out. Hillier, handball over the top. It's just going to go up and out, and it will go out of bounds on the full.
Ball spent a fair bit of time in that pocket this quarter, and he gave a bit of a relief there with that kick.
And it's got to come back. Doyle will restart play. Doyle kicks up the line, looking for Jones. Hillier in there with hands. Braden Taylor again, probably been Pint's best so far today as the little guy, the rover, midfielder. Chalmers picks it up, gives it back to the boundary umpire, and will throw it in, just in front of the St Mary's interchange box. Smith with good use of the body. Carter. Oh, just picks it up there and runs out of Stenning. It's a bit of an up and under though. It's going to bounce into the hands of Salmon. Salmon has a chance looking for Calder. It's not a bad kick in the end. Just bounces to Calder's left. He can't quite get it, but they'll run away with it through Gaydon. So Tom Gaydon looking for McMahon. Bouncing ball. It's a luck. McMahon just spun out of trouble and then went across to his teammate Henry Tregoeth, who again had it spent before he got it. Now they're in strife as Lant then goes across to his teammate Grenfell. Bounces off him. Doyle can't get clean possession. Now they can run it. They can try and get it out there. They still without much opportunity through Smith, loose on the ground. Tackled without the ball was Lant.
Pint got themselves into trouble there. They had plenty of time in the middle there to settle it down. And dropped the mark, and from there on, St Mary's just pounced on it and have another opportunity.
And Lant is the one that will go back and have a shot. And I got to say to you, this based on form should be a gimme for him. He's pretty good in front of goal, is Dylan Lant. Mind you, though, having said that, apart from putting the mocker on him, he kicked most of his goals a couple of weeks ago when I did the game on the run. So let's see what he does with a set shot, free kick. Yeah, just guides and hits the post, so it wasn't far out.
You would say there was a big breeze pushing it that way, just turned at the last minute, but there is no breeze here tonight, so he just mishit that one.
No, but he fairly kicked through it, though. Doyle just balks and then runs around one and then has to hurry his kick, but it's pretty good. They have a chance here.
We've got some runners here, Pint do.
Yeah, Jones. If they can keep it moving forward quickly, they will catch St Mary's. Brad Ryan got his hands up. It's bouncing inside the 50, but will go out of bounds and follow the line out. And Brad Ryan just signaling to his teammate, thank you, that was a good... Want that forward. I want that ball brought in quickly, and that's exactly what they did.
21-minute mark of the second quarter. 25 points to St Mary's, 34 to Pint.
So we're into time on. Jones just gave up front position there to Smith, who won out. Paredes with quick hands, but it's going to be knocked down by Alex Harvey, who got taken out. And thrown in. The ball will be thrown in. Let's see what Jones does this time. Smith, very experienced ruckman for St Mary's, does Ryan Smith. Jones, though, just gave him a bit of a nudge, and Smith will earn the free kick. And has to go, been told to go back around. So Ryan Smith just gives a little chip over to his teammate. Hillier onto Ling. They're playing around with it. Lant onto Hillier. Hurried kick. Well, they were put under pressure, and Smythe was there on the end of the turnover. So Ben Smythe just asking his teammates to settle down a little bit. And now he's told to play on. And he does. Oh, it's just dropped into the hands of Sia Varela, who just turns and goes at goals, and from 35 metres out has put Pint 6th on the board.
As the breeze is starting to kick up here a little bit towards that end now as well. I did see one lightning flash in the sky in the far distance, so we'll keep an eye on the weather in the second half. We have had it change up the top in here relatively quickly, but at the moment Pint are looking really good, 40-25, and every time St Mary's get one on the board, Pint seems just to have the answer for it.
Yeah, they do. They respond very well, and they usually respond quite quickly. As they see Varela's goal there, just gives them a 15-point lead. We're not far away from time on. There hasn't been that many goals so far, but he has become Pint's multiple goal kicker, which is, and Nicholas Yaron for St Mary's is the other multiple goal kicker on the field. So that's give you an indication of just how tightly held this game has been. 10 scoring shots apiece. Saints, 3 goals, 7. One out by Jones. Lant picks it up. Kick doesn't go anywhere but to Hodges. Hodges wrapped up by 3 Pints players. He didn't stand a chance. Comes back to Jones. Jones's kick was looking for Brad Ryan. Brad Ryan just sets it up across the face of goals. Trotter is there. Here held by Long. Play on is the call. Knocked down and knocked over the line. And the ball will be thrown in. Danger when Trotter becomes involved. Brad Ryan did well to keep it in.
Absolutely did. Of course, after today, we've got a 3-week break for the season as we stop for Christmas back on the 7th of January. So another half of football to go of the pre-Christmas games.
As the ball's thrown in, and no Pints person signalled that they were going to go up. So it was all St Mary's. It's still loose. It's going to be socket off the ground. And went through, and it was Yusuf that just got a toe poke to it. It was World Cup style.
Yeah, there's a couple of the boys there from Pints. One of them should have made a decision, but in the end it just got snuck through by the boot.
No, Jacob Long goes to Kieran Parnell, and they'll go back to Jacob Long. And he's been urged to play on quickly. So he's got to go over the top, and he does, and the siren sounds to end it to Hartung. So the siren sounds to end the first half here at TIO Stadium.
St Mary's 3 goals, 7-25. Pint 6 goals, 5-41. We have a round 12 action of the men's Premier League competition. We'll be back shortly.
Just goes over the top. He's got Michael Dunn. Michael Dunn can run inside 50 if he wants, and he does. Just sets it up high. It's going through. What a great goal.
That is a beautiful kick off the boot on the run from Michael Dunn.
Down to a teammate in Shot. Shot gives it off to the running Carter, and here they come again. Mead Harding. Mead Harding picks out Jet Trotter, who thought about going. Post. They've all set themselves there. He's a left footer. Not a bad-looking kick off the boot. Certainly their teammates like it, and they're all going over to him.
Yeah,
the goal square. Low now goes out, and he's fumbled it out wide. It's come to the hands of Cunningham again. On the run is Cunningham. He sits it up, and it looks like it's gone through. His teammates are extremely happy, and the all-clear is given. He's telling his players to move. He can kick long and across the ground. He had a target out the back, and he finds him beautifully. And it was Adam Tippenwoody who drifted down quietly. They're at DXC Arena. And if he sits this up, then this is danger time, and they're applauding it straight away. And Tippenwoody gets his first for the day, and the Bombers sneak in front with their 5th goal of the day. Puts it on the boot out in front of Yusuf. It's not picked up. Now it comes to Yusuf. Yusuf on the run, right foot, open goal, puts it through.
Fraternity on the side, but it was there.
D'Souza sends it inside the 50. Stanley Tippenlura picked up there by Gary Purantatameri. Right foot inside out, puts it through.
What a goal. A hooker today, Ash.
Sends it up to centre half forward, out in the back. Mitchell Lowe. There's a few there. Shannon Rioli picks it up, gives it out to Michael Dunn. Michael Dunn can turn with a right foot snap at goal. I think it's good.
Oh, wowee. Another goal to the Tiwi Bombers, and a third goal to Michael Dunn.
He open as Gary Purantatameri tries to run onto it, heads towards the goal, comes to the hands of, let me just see who that is. It was Dion Mankara. Off to McMahon again. McMahon's just an up and under kick. I don't know who it was to. Desmond Tipamatamiri was there. Silver Yusuf was there. Doyle got it. Madden got it. Let go. Play on was the call. It's come to Harvey, who snaps it on his right. He doesn't really have an option. Anything he has got is closed off. He's got to kick it to the contest, but it was Doyle with some use of the body. Clever. Goal post, which he's kind of done, and he sits it up, and there's a few applause, and it's come from the Pint supporters. Doyle is on the board. In. Diving Lanyon can't get it. Picked up there on the left by Trotter. Trotter's shot at goal goes across the face, through for a point, and the game is all locked up.
Trying to get that really... there's the siren.
There's the siren. Well, there we have it at DXC Arena as everyone goes down onto their haunches. 8 goals, 7 apiece, 55 points. The score is a draw.
Wasn't marked there by Burke, but he gave an attempt. Wills, he gets it, kicks it, and finds a target there in the forward 50. I think it's Heath Morgan Morris. The Eagles kicked that same scoreline, 3 goals 12. So both teams have had interesting years in front of goal. This kick straight over the umpire's head, and the first blood goes to the Magpies for Heath Morgan Morris. Kick goes inside 50 to Patrick, goes beyond him though. I think it's come off Groves' head. Patrick just snaps it back in the centre corridor.
It's a well pass.
Great kick there.
Yeah.
Leveler for them, because really Magpies have controlled most of the game so far. He likes that one off the boot, and the Wanderers get around him. Roll around. Goes into the centre corridor where he finds Jerome Motlop on the siren of quarter time. This could make it 4 from Jerome Motlop. It would give Wanderers confidence heading into the second quarter, and he's kicked it. And look at the Eagles come to him. They're flocking around him as he's kicked that goal to put them 11 points up here. Got nearly from that apex. Now we'll go a short one. Good kick there, and he's found Ben Nason. Didn't have as illustrious a career as he might have at another team, but that is a good kick, and it's through the big sticks. As well as Mencha handball over the top. He chooses the handball. Could have gone a quick kick over. Instead he went a high one to Nason. It'll work though. Nason inside 50, launches on goal, and it goes over the umpire's head. So the Magpies, they take the lead. Very different in the way they play. Here comes Josiah Farah inside 50, offline. And there we go. Will Farah's kicked a goal.
Yes, he has.
Right on cue. Nearly held. Umpires let it go. That one there, I think it might have been Big Arbin. Kicked it into the pocket. Patrick couldn't take the mark. Got slung without it. Umpire calls play on. Kicked off the ground and through for a goal. Big Eddie Simpson's kicked that one through, and that puts the Wanderers in front again by 5 points. He goes a short one now to the leader, Patrick, and that finds him beautifully. Not sure how his game's looking as to whether he'll kick this or not. He's almost tried to put it too high, but it's gone through. He's happy with that. He celebrates.
Yes.
The Wanderers get out to an 11-point lead. About 45 metres out when he kicks it. Wheels around. That's a good kick, and that is the sealer. Wanderers are home. They lead by 16 points.
You're watching AFL NT's coverage of the 2022-23 TIO NTFL season here from TIO Stadium in Darwin on Larrakia country. We have a round 12 action, the second half of the Men's Premier League game between St Mary's and PINT. My name is Nick Dax, my commentary partner this evening, Ashley Manakaris. Ash, big first half for PINT.
Yeah, it was. They really kept the reigning premiers in check and were prepared to back themselves. Good discipline and good structure they had through their midfield, and their runners like Shot, like Chalmers, like McMahon, and then up forward Trotter and the big men, Brock Carter and Andrew Jones, really presenting themselves, and of course Matty Ryan as well. And up back, Patrick Doyle has been a very difficult hurdle for them to get over, as has Ethan Smith. So PINT, the Green Ants, really sticking it to the premiers at this stage. And of course, this said about half a dozen times this season, and the third quarter's always been PINT's best quarter. So let's be interested to see what happens here. Well, the premiership quarter is here. One out by the Green Ants again through Harvey. And his kick, though, is picked off. And it'll be the Saints' Jai Hartung. But his kick is turned over and it comes to McMahon. McMahon, being one of their better in the first half, was looking for Trotter. Comes to Salmon. Salmon's got to dance around one. And he gets caught, pinged, does a couple of 360 pirouettes and goes for holding the ball. And it's Chalmers that's carried that away. And Chalmers puts it over to a teammate. And there was a hold in the contest. And it'll go to PINT again. And it'll go to PINT. Trotter just going in there, and Parnell and him having words. Yeah, I think Trotter was going to run in and play on then, and Parnell just picked it up in the last second and stopped him doing that. And Brad Ryan has been a handy acquisition to the PINT's forward line this week, and he will go back. He's in the right forward pocket. Michael Long's end of the TIO Stadium to the left of the screen, and a 50-metre penalty has been awarded and will go against Parnell and directly in front. So a maybe chance has gone to a guaranteed as Brad Ryan comes in, and all of the teammates come running to him to congratulate him for his first goal in the PINT's jersey. So Mary's didn't need that one. Of course, it's the No More round. The No More initiative addresses prevention of domestic and family violence through a whole range of community approaches. They support men and women by engaging with those who want to see social change, providing education, raising awareness, and providing support for referrals. So the NTFL's No More round, it's a great round every year. We get a restart back in the middle. PINT will just be getting a sense that they have got the measure of their opponents. 22 points the difference here. Yep, 3 goals, 7-25, 7-5, 47. Carter sets himself against Grenfell. Grenfell just wins it out, punches it forward. Lant trying to run onto it, runs over the top of it. Braden Taylor's in there. Comes back out from the youngster Ted Castle. And then it's Bowden, and then it comes over in there. PINT's defenders on their knees and lock it up as they keep repelling. They keep repelling these St Mary's attacks. Carter wins it out. Can't get anywhere. Was Gaydon? No. Got him over the shoulder. Got him over the shoulder, so Smith will get the free kick. Let off there perhaps. Smith's got up holding his back. He's got Doyle to the outside of him, who he then goes to. Doyle could go over the top to Chalmers if he didn't see him. Now he does. Bit of a floater. Jellyman gets in there, but Matt Ryan being told to play on, and he just kicks along the line of the contest right in front of the commentary position, and Carter just takes it uncontested. The big man has really held his own this evening. Off to Ciavarella. He kicked a great goal early on in the game to get things going for PINT. Ciavarella being encouraged to get a move on. Now he's told to play on. Brad Ryan presented himself. A lot of pressure. Hodges comes in. Yusuf comes in. But the free kick will go to Hartung, who was dragged off without possession. Parnell with it now. Goes into centre half forward, picks out his teammate Hillier, who plays on quickly and can bring it out wide where Jacob Long has drifted down. Long in a foot race. It's 2-on-1. Long gets it, and then a hurried handball away to Nicholas Yaron. He gets it back inside to Long, but it's a bouncing ball. Bowden got a hand on it, but it was Long that was held without the ball, and Long will take the free kick.
Ethan Smith got up before holding his back. I think he's actually done his finger as well, because I think I just saw him pull it back in, but he's still out there, so he must have got a knock in that infringement earlier on.
So the kick from Jacob Long has ended up in the hands of Bo Tedcastle, who's already kicked a goal. Got one in the second term. And he's going to give him an opportunity, give himself an opportunity here. The breeze has picked up a little bit to the right of screen, which means he's going to have to sit it up at that right-hand goal post. So let's see what he can do distance-wise. Well, he's given it a fair bit of air. Isn't going to come around. Over the top was Chiswell. It's gone through, and I thought it hit the point post and will be thrown in. There's going to be a console. No, a free kick's been found, and it's going to go to Jackson Calder. So when we get a look at that replay, we'll see just what that infringement was. Looks like there was a bit of a push, and Calder has ended up with a free kick 5 metres out.
Push on the line there, and he's
hit the post. Well, when you're having a night, when you're on, and when you're not sure, you're not sure.
Yeah, it was pushed out off on the goal post there. I did hit the outside post. It would have been out of bounds, but he's got the free kick and couldn't finish it off.
So Ben Smythe brings it back in, has a bit of a bounce, goes. Punched away by Joseph Salmon out of bounds. So Saints prepared to lock it up. Prepared to lock it up as they all converge on that throw-in. Well, we said at the start of the game, Nick, that we would actually get a measure of where Pints are at against St Mary's.
Yep. And they've come out really well. Right from the beginning of the game, they put the pressure on St Mary's and have held up to it.
Yeah, Carter, first use of the ball was again. And it was Thompson who's on top of it in the white jersey and the shaggy blonde hair. And he gets up. Pints giving themselves a real show in this game. 7 goals 5, plays 3 goals 8. 47-26. There's a hold and advantage is paid. Paredes over the top. Picks out Yaron. Gets Yaron on the chest. So Nicholas Yaron. He was the multiple goal scorer for St Mary's in the first half.
Yep, going for his third here, and they desperately need this one, St Mary's. 21 points in it as we're about 7-minute mark of the third quarter.
As Yaron comes in, as easy as you like. It wasn't a bad looking kick, but just strayed a little bit to the left. Through for 1 point.
Yeah, goal umpire moved at the last moment there. You could see it was just going to come into the inside.
Smythe again. Sends it out really wide that time, and Smith was lucky to get a hand on it. Touched before it went out.
Smythe's done well with those kick-outs, so tonight he's got them right out of danger zone a couple of times.
Yeah, it's pretty much 2 kicks to get back to that full forward square, which is what you want. You don't want to be turning it over anywhere within a kick. Too easy to get back as Ryan Smith got it out of the air and then handball, tried to punch it forward. Braden Taylor got wrapped up on the ground by Joseph Salmon, and a free kick's been paid because it was taken high in that first touch. They go sideways. Inboard now to Shot.
Done that a lot tonight, gone out and then come back inboard. Obviously a set-up play that they've set up for themselves and done it really, really well.
Well, they're not afraid to spread. Comes to Harvey. Harvey just goes straight up the line and long. Brad Ryan, 2 versus 1. They're just waiting out Yusuf and Thompson both there. Ciavarella comes in to lend a hand, and a holding the ball has been paid against Ryan. Matt Green. Been a bit quiet defensively. Green has had some big games this year. Certainly a NTFL representative candidate, that's for sure. And he sends it inside the 50 with a huge kick. But Ethan Smith read that very well for the Green Ants.
There's 4 or 5 of them out here on the grandstand wing, but he's going to go inboard.
And go to Thompson. So Brad Thompson. Been told to play on now. To Ryan. Brad Ryan on his knees. Nice chest mark. Down and then doesn't wait and goes straight away. But the kick will be tapped off, chopped off by Parnell, Kieran Parnell, and a 50. Went over the mark. A little bit of confusion there, but it's a 50 metre. No point arguing Jet Trotter. Play on is the call. Paredes has got it there at the 50 metre. He has time, has to go inboard for the pass, and he does. And finds his teammate. And that is Luke Oborn. Oborn, who has played up back most of the game, is now switched forward. And this seems to be a bit of a trend because he did that a couple of weeks ago against Southern Districts and turned things around for them. So Oborn's directly in front. He'll kick from 40 metres out. And
look good.
Yeah, look good off the boot. And Oborn kicks a much-needed goal for St Mary's.
Absolutely. 4 goals, 9-33 to 7-5-47. They need a couple of match winners out there, St Mary's. The only couple look like it is Yaron and now Oborn with that one there. And they certainly need a couple more to get back in this one. But PINT, every time St Mary's has scored, PINT have gone back down the other end relatively quickly. Let's see if they can do it again.
Yeah, and, you know, players like from St Mary's, players like Dylan Lant, whilst they've had a reasonable work rate, probably not up to their normal dominance that we've seen previously. And we saw Paredes there chip in. Well, they're going to need the skipper to sort of lead them again.
Yep.
And drag them across the line as Jones comes up against Smith. One out by Jones. Couldn't quite get his hands on it there was Flanagan. It's a high up and under. McMahon gets it and traps it on the first bounce. The kick, though, is smothered off the boot by Parnell. Yusuf in pursuit, kept in, although it's been called out now. And the boundary umpire was Johnny on the spot. The ball will be thrown in.
Yeah, couldn't have been in a better spot there. The boundary umpire was right about 2 feet away from it when it come across.
Jones tries to take front position straight away against Ryan, the 2 rucks. Punched out, though, by Ryan. He couldn't quite get away with it, was Lachlan Stenning. Jumped in the air, did get possession, but was wrapped up very, very quickly. They lock arms, the 2 ruckmans, punched away, comes to Salmon. McMahon again, he collected it first time. So it's been a real arm wrestle. But Pints have taken their opportunities in front of goal. Ryan, in a ruck infringement, will go now to Jones. So Jones gets the kick. On the lead is Yusuf. Comes off his hands, bouncing clear there. Mullane picks it up. Parnell just dodges under it, can't quite get a hold of it. In there is Vallejo. And a high tackle's been found and will go to St Mary's. It'll go to Parnell. Parnell just gets him out. He's got a running teammate in Harrison Ling. Ling over the top. Looks for Lant. Vallejo again with some body. But the Green Ants will clean it up. They'll clean it up through Flanagan. Flanagan finds...
They're out in the middle here.
Taylor comes across to McMahon. McMahon goes out wide, but I think it's going to be marked cleanly, and it is. And again, it was Ling.
It's about the 3rd or 4th time this quarter they've been cut off in that pass there into the 50.
Ling goes sideways and finds Grenfell. Grenfell gives it off to Jellyman Turner, who had a very good first half. Been a bit quiet so far. Taken out there was Oborn.
Yep.
Patrick Doyle just saying, "Oh, who me?" And don't know that the two number 14s were just have stood each other, but Doyle just sort of looking quizzically at the umpire like, "It wasn't me, sir." There's Oborn looking for Calder, the big man. He got one hand on it, got taken out, and it's going to be a free kick to Jackson Calder, who had his legs taken out from underneath him. Ethan Smith asking the question.
He's got a runner here if he wants him, but I don't even think he's looking. He's going to go for it.
Jackson Calder. He hasn't kicked a goal tonight. He's been a prolific goal scorer in the past, but not tonight.
No, not with that one.
Not a point. He's got another point. He had a set shot before and hit the post. Not from very far out either.
Other winners today, Darwin Buffaloes defeated Tiwi Bombers by 58 points in the top of the table clash at Gardens Oval. Southern Districts defeated Waratahs by 28 points, and Nightcliff Tigers defeated Palmerston by 12 points. We're here at the moment. St Mary's on 34 and Pint on 47, 15 minutes into the third quarter.
Gaydon just sends it well and truly outside the 50. Tregoeth got a bit of a nudge, but the umpire just ignored it. It was legal. Whistle's gone. 50 metres been paid, and this will set up St Mary's directly in front. And Saints will have a real opportunity here to set themselves up and close that gap a little bit more. So Lachlan Stenning is the man in the hot seat. 34 plays 47, 13 points the difference. Margin could be cut to 7 points. 2 kicks still in it. If he gets this, 2 straight kicks. So no pressure on Lachlan Stenning, but he can cut this margin right down. And he just pushes it off to the right. So I don't know if I put the mockers on him, Nick.
The only guy who's going to run up that far is Ben Brown. He was a long way. He's taken a 10-metre shot and turned it into a 30-metre. But anyway. He did look confident through. He followed it all the way through, but unfortunately it went to the right. But yeah, he kicked that from 30 and he could have kicked it from 11 or 12.
Well, look at the scoring shots there.
Yeah.
You got 4 goals 11, placed 7 goals 5. Chiswell was up. Lant got it there. The kick's not good, and we'll go out of bounds. Chalmers has got it, so Jellyman can restart play straight away if he wants. He's got runners everywhere. He can go over the top and finds Grenfell. He does. Just gives it to him, the big fella, Braden. Braden just ignores the lead. Now he goes into the full forward zone. Calder has set himself. They've been punched away by Gaydon in a big way. Leading the foot race to the ball is Ted Castle. He gets around 1, handballs back to Chiswell. Chiswell just takes 2 steps and with a little left foot kick, puts it through.
Yep.
So Jack Chiswell on the board for his first.
Had a good game tonight, Jack Chiswell. That was his first goal there, but he's been playing pretty well across the park. 5 goals, 11-41. 6-point lead now to Pint. And they've normally had a championship quarter in this third quarter, but St Mary's have got on top of them here slightly, and Pint definitely need the next one to keep in control of this game. But as you said earlier, 11 points St Mary's have kicked, and there's been that. We've seen that a few times this season over a few games. We've seen some massive point scores, and a goal-kicking coach in the territory next year probably wouldn't go astray.
16 scoring shots to 13, and they still trail by 6. They trail by a kick. Carter against Grenfell. Carter's one out easily. Braden Taylor couldn't get clean on it. Now he's just overruns it slightly, in and under. Comes to Harvey, smothered off the boot. McMahon can get it. Now he's got to hurry his kick. Taken out high with Ciavarelli. Play on, advantage in the hands of Chalmers. So Elliot Chalmers just got over the top. Yusuf reaching, couldn't get it. Parnell with a balk. Gives a handball over the top. Coming in is Hillier. Tregoeth just turns on his right. Can set it up. It's a 2-on-1 out there. Brad Ryan was up against Parnell. And Hodges, and the ball's gone out of bounds. Spitting out of that there was Jellyman Turner. Carter Paredes just wrapped up as he kicked. Ethan Bowden had control, gives a handball over to Hillier. It's going to get picked up though by Taylor, Braden Taylor again to Yusuf, Silver Yusuf, and then he got dealt with afterwards, and a free kick will go to Pints, and it'll go to Chalmers. So downfield.
They needed that one, did Pints. So that was about the fourth or fifth time this quarter they've got the ball into that 50, and it's just been cut off from a poor kick. They got away though with the kick downfield.
It's actually Trotter that's been handed the ball, and so Trotter will go back. He'd probably give himself, he's looking to offload and looking for a pass, and he's got a lead. The lead is Silver Yusuf. Got his hands on it one time, couldn't the second time. It's been cleared out. There's the sliding Brad Thompson. Ball hit the ground, wrapped up by Salmon, waiting for it. No opportunity. Thompson was appealing for the mark, but the umpire was right there, saw that it hit the ground.
Yeah, definitely hit the ground.
Yeah. Perhaps a missed opportunity. Comes out to Carter, then himself onto Shot. Shot onto Trotter. Trotter's handball's a bit hot to Lewis George. It's still 2-on-1. Paredes gives his team, opponent a hard time. Picked up though by Shot. Shot onto Thompson. Thompson's left foot kick. Yusuf's there. Couldn't quite mark it. Parnell dances around one. Gives a handball out to Salmon. Salmon puts his head down and goes again. Parnell runs on. Now he gives it off to the running Jacob Long. They're going to get out of trouble here, Saints. Ethan Bowden takes a chest mark right in front of the Pints interchange bench. And there's a downfield, and Ethan Bowden is going to be a recipient of a 50-metre penalty. So danger time, really big danger time here for St Mary's. A little bit of push and shove goes on upfield. Patrick Doyle exchanging courtesies and pleasantries there with Mitch Musgrove. Chiswell's in to help out, and it's been a turnover.
Yep.
Pints will end up with the football. Thomas Shot runs off, puts it well out in front of his teammate in Braden Taylor. Taylor just hurried, right foot's going to bounce. Not going to be good. They're not going to get clean possession, Pints. They might still be able to keep control though and get it back inside their 50. Taylor, hurried handball out. Here they go. Just been put up just as their kick was, but it's going to be grabbed by Lant. It was Brad Ryan. There's Lant. His kick goes over the top. Ted Castle in control, knows what he's doing. He's put under great pressure there from Corey Tim. Great contest. Knocked back in by Hillier. Coming in to get it was Jones. Jones' handball. Nicky Yarran just cleaned up his opponent, Tom Gayden, and the umpire has paid a free kick for holding the ball. As we see a free kick up the other end of the ground, so Braden Taylor is going to be he's going to get a free kick up the other end of the ground. So play stop. Nicky Yarran is having a push and shove back where the ball was, but it's gone to the Pints goal end, you can see on the screen there, and Braden Taylor has a chance to send the Green Ants into attack. 6 points the difference here at TIO Stadium. We're in the third term.
And it's all on a 100-metre penalty, you could call that one.
As Taylor sends it up, it's not going to be a contested mark as Parnell just hurriedly gave it over to Braith Hodges. Hodges just quickly gets it out of the defensive 50, and he finds Nate Paredes, the St Mary's skipper. Paredes. So Nate Paredes puts it up to Calder. Punched away from him. Yarran got it on the first take. Spinning out of trouble to Lant. Lant's close to the boundary line. Puts it to Calder, who has it punched away. So things heating up here at TIO Stadium in the third term. We are 23 minutes and a quarter. 23 and a quarter minutes into this final term.
Watching both ends of the ground at the moment. There's a bit going on in the back line here as well. There's a bit niggly here. That stuff normally happens about the first 5 minutes of the game, but we're towards the end of the third quarter and they're not friendly.
Well, demonstration. Both sides really want to win it, and Pints are just showing that they want to go into Christmas with 4 points. Salmon, he got taken high. Let go. Play on is the call. In fact, it's been paid as a support free kick from outside. Yarran really taken high in that contest. Salmon taken high in that contest.
Yeah, the umpire closest to it was actually blindsided by a couple of players. It was the far umpire who saw it, but he was right.
Calder went down. went up, sorry, and the weight of everyone else that pack on top. So Pints have just run that out through the spread. Mullane with a bounce over the top. Parnell just got wrapped up and dragged straight to the ground as a bit of fisticuff goes on right in front of the TV cameras here. It's on. This was threatening to happen for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Everyone's on there. The umpire's being told to get the ball going and throw it in as it is on. They're just, as the siren sounds to end the third quarter, and it is really starting to get heated here at TIO Stadium. Players dragging everyone off. Getting out, Grenfell having words with his opponent, Gayden, right in front of the camera. And umpires desperately trying to get control here and break it all up. Just shows you just a little bit of just how much emotion is actually in this. And both sides want that 4 points before the before Christmas. Pints officials are coming in and just encouraging their teammates to go away. They've broken it up now. Well, either one or both sides are going to come out in the next quarter, and really turn it on. In the meantime, here at three-quarter time at TIO Stadium.
St Mary's are down by 6 points to Pint. The umpires did not want the siren to go just then, but they did. You're at TIO Stadium. We'll be back shortly.
This afternoon here at TIO Stadium. To the left of your radio they go.
Wow, what a goal to start the game.
Beautiful. Goes for home and has nailed an absolute ripstorter. From the pocket, and he's kicked an absolute ripper.
You're watching AFL NT's coverage of the 22-23 TIO NTFL season from Darwin at TIO Stadium. Round 12 action. St Mary's taking on PINT as we go into the final quarter. 2-1 that quarter to St Mary's favour as we get the game going after a bit of excitement at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, emotions running high as Ryan Smith won it out, but it's been cleared by PINT. They're kicking to the right of screen. Tregoeth gets wrapped up. Yeah, very much a bit of emotion in this. Both sides want the 4 points. I think we finally saw St Mary's step up. They're 6 points down. Punched away by Carter. Diving forward there. Now they've got it out. Paredes, the skipper, had a hand in a goal in that last term. Ciavarella comes back to Paredes. Paredes just runs into a brick wall. Gets done for holding the ball. No, high tackle. Ran into the brick wall of Brock Carter. And got the free kick as a consequence.
We've got the strongest breeze of the night at the moment going to the right of screen, going to the airport end, favouring PINT in this final quarter.
Paredes sends it in. Chiswell in there, so is Calder. Cleared out. Comes across to the hands. Jones back inboard. PINT, they can spread here. Mullane's got time in front of Salmon. Now he's going to play on, and he does. So Mullane's kick is not good as Parnell drops back and just takes the easiest of marks in the end. He gives it over the top to Salmon.
3-on-1, then he kicked 2. It was always going to come back over his head.
Salmon looking for Chiswell. In there is Jones, just two grabs, but he gets it. Finally with control, so the PINT's big man can really send it in. Ryan Smith has set himself up behind play, dropping back. It's punched up high in the air. Chalmers in a foot race with Jacob Long. Chalmers gets there first, gives it off to Matty Ryan. Matty Ryan just puts it on the boot, left foot. Silver Yusuf in the air. It's coming bounced over the top. Yusuf tries to get one hand on it. Ling steps around. Again, it's loose. Smith is up there, contested against Tregoeth. Then Smith eventually cleans it up. Kicks it out to Lant. Lant marks it on his chest with a run. He's got Jellyman Turner on the pace. So Jellyman Turner goes and gets it. Lant and Harvey are just going for it on centre wing, and the whistle is gone. We're going to see I'll be interested to see which way this goes, and it's going to go against Lant. It's going to go to, in fact, Corey Tim. It's going to go to Alex Harvey. They were at each other the whole way, and the out-of-zone umpire picked it up. Gaydon just got wrapped up by Nicholas Yaron. Big turnover here for St Mary's, as did then Mitch Musgrove.
Yeah, followed up well, then he did, Musgrove.
And Lewis George. This is one arm wrestle. 6 points the difference here at TIO Stadium. Fourth quarter, 3 minutes in. Chalmers, centre wing. The Green Ants. Can they keep the wood over St Mary's? They've beaten them once already this year. Ashley Mullane for the Green Ants. Onto Alex Harvey, who tried to take it in one hand. Ryan Smith just letting him know about it. Goes out of bounds. I wouldn't be getting too ahead of yourself just yet.
Big 20 minutes coming up with St Mary's could comfortably lock in third spot with a win tonight, but PINT could jump up to fourth as they go into Christmas, and who saw that one coming at the start of the season?
No. I got asked in one of the breaks how come they hadn't beaten more sides, the Green Ants, after tonight's effort. Ethan Bowden there just gets it. Goes inboard to Luke Hillier. Hillier turns and goes to Yaron. Yaron with some body allows the ball to bounce in front of him. Now he picks it up. Steps one way, back the other, and gives it back to Hillier. Hillier looking for Calder. Over his hands, Doyle. Gets out of trouble, has his handball smothered by Oborn. Danger here for the Green Ants. Oborn on the left foot, goes at goal. In there is the square. Loose tackle. Can't get a hold of it. Picked up by Ted Castle. Right foot snapped through for a point.
5 points in it now.
Well, this is anybody's game, really. One straight kick from St Mary's. And they're in front for the first time tonight.
They've struggled with that straight kick, though. 5 goals, 12 they've kicked. But 5-point leaders as we go into the 3rd minute of the final quarter. Said big game, 3rd or 4th place on the line tonight.
Jones. Oh, and it's a huge grab there by Grenfell. Grenfell was really fired up at that 3/4 time break. Very animated. Sends it in deep into that forward 50. Ethan Bowden cleaned up the crumbs. Running through hard was Hillier. Didn't have it. Oborn. Yaron. Bowden again. Hands and knees. He's wrapped up though by his opponent, Rad Thompson.
Seen a lot of this tonight in Pint's forward line, certainly in the second quarter and this quarter. Just this messy football in the forward line.
Oh, just taken high in that contest. A little bit agricultural in that hit. And Jones gets up. Prepared to take one for the team.
Got some runners here on the far wing side, but he's going to come to the grandstand side.
Harvey.
Yeah.
There was a cat's whisker in that mark on so close to the boundary line it was. Then he comes to McMahon. Looking further upfield. Just looking for him. He's got Brad Thompson if he wants him. He's going to kick to the top. Grenfell's dropped back. And just waiting at the back there was Flanagan. Everyone went up. Flanagan stayed down. He's ended up with the chest. And now there's a 50-metre penalty because number 19 there, Lachlan Stenning, or it was Jellyman Turner actually, as he was coming off, ran to inside the protected area. So Darryl Flanagan, 50-metre penalty recipient. He's going to have a shot at goal from 50 metres out. He just sets it up. They've all set themselves inside the square. It's come off hands of Carter and a free kick's been found and it'll go against Carter. He's got to go back to the 9. And so they can actually get it. Oh, and it's just come off Carter's hands. Well, that was lucky. Musgrove just slung off the ball as he kicked. Vallejo was a flyer. Here they come again. McMahon keeps it in. Flanagan, hurried kick around the corner. Paredes just barges his way through. Dylan Lance wrapped up. Flanagan with another hurried kick. It might bounce between everyone, but Ling is there and takes the mark. So Harrison Ling goes in short, picks out Hillier. Hillier just runs around Thompson quickly. They want to get it moving to St Mary's. It is out wide to Ted Castle. So Bo Tedcastle, his kick. The Pines player did all he worked to get in front and just went through his fingertips. They are desperate to get the 4 points. Both these sides means an enormous amount to them. Means an enormous amount to Saints. They just keep in touch with everyone else, and they just keep in touch with everyone else, and more importantly, keeps themselves in that top 3, maybe the top 2. Grenfell has moved into the ruck. Picked up there by Hillier and on the boot. Doyle punches it away. Oborn kept down. Chiswell, Oborn again, throws his arm out and he gets a push in the back as a consequence. So Luke Oborn put his head over the ball, got the free kick. He'll go back and have a shot. So he kicks this, they'll actually go up by a point.
St Mary's been in front for the first time tonight. Pint hit them early and held on the whole game, but 2-1 in that 3rd quarter where Pint normally are a lot stronger. And this one, St Mary's have come out firing pretty well as well.
It's been a really intriguing game, this. Great arm wrestle. As Oborn's kick is wobbly, but I tell you what, I think it's done enough and it's gone through. Critical. The Green Machine's in front by a point for the first time tonight.
Yeah, his second goal tonight, Oborn. There's Nicholas Yaron has got 2 as well. Bo Tedner-Castle and Jack Chiswell scored for St Mary's. And as I said, St Mary's 1 point up over Pint in coming up to the 8th minute mark of the final quarter. As I said, a win tonight for St Mary's will lock them into third place. Southern District's on top, Waratah second, and then St Mary's, and then it's a blanket over the rest of them. A Pint win tonight, they'll lock up fourth spot, and St Mary's will keep on to third. But big chance here for Pint. They started the game off very, very well. They just dropped off in this last half of the third quarter and the start of the final quarter.
So we're at the 10-minute mark. They've been pretty good out of their centre clearances today. Carter is back in there in the middle. He jumps over the top as Grenfell, and it's this man again, Tregoworth. This time they go forward, looking for Jones. It's picked up, though, by Ciavarella. He's already got two. Gave it every opportunity, and it's gone out of bounds on the full. So Ciavarella already had two. He's one of two multiple goal scorers. Brad Ryan is the other for Pints. Oh, dropped what he should have taken. Did Jai Hartung. And comes over now to Jellyman Turner. He's been running all day. Jellyman Turner. Saints again from one end to the other. Calder has it punched away from him. They're really trying to get it going through Gaydon. They can't do it. It's got to come out. Ethan Smith with a hurried handball. Vallejo couldn't pick it up. It's picked up, though, by Hillier into the goal square. Salmon is there, tries to toe poke it. Picked up, though, by Taylor. Braden Taylor in the last line of defence gives it over to Shott. Thomas Shott has a look. He's looking for his teammate Flanagan. Flanagan got it, bounced off his chest, has to go back inboard to a contest. Tregoworth is in there, hands and knees. Can't quite get it. Chiswell trying to get a hold of it. Hurried kick away again. And Jacob Long is the one that'll end up with the ball.
Very messy in there for Pint. They had plenty of opportunity to get the ball out of there a lot cleaner than that, but it's going to come back at him.
Well, now this is the problem. Paredes was all on his own there. Paredes plays on quickly. Goes over the top into that full forward area. It's picked up by Lant. Right foot snap. Coming back is Smith, who takes the mark. Last line of defence again from the Green Ants. Oh, it's not a great kick. He waited for it, did Mullane. Not good. Comes out to Salmon. Salmon with a right foot snap. And I think Saints have just extended their lead by 6 points.
Yeah, messy kick out of defence. They've done very well tonight in defence, Pine have. That last line, a couple of times they've managed to pull it out of there, but that one there came straight back at him, and Salmon took the opportunity. He's only been back on the ground a couple of minutes because he was sitting on the bench for the last part of the third quarter. He came on, was running around by himself there for a little while, and run the award here. A nice finish.
Yeah, Ted Castle was the one that I've loaded to him, and Salmon with that snap. We've seen him do it a few times this season. Good young player. Came through the ranks. Well, again, we've gone from a 12 and 13 point deficit for St Mary's. They've managed to claw themselves way back to a 7-point lead. Smith got his hands on it to Yaron. Yaron just kicks it high and as far as he can. Bouncing ball, good body. Mullane, handball back inboard. Still going to be a contest for Braden Taylor. He got caught and tackled without the ball according to the umpire. Yaron was the offender. He goes inboard. It's going to taken one-handed by Shott under pressure from Lucas Jellyman Turner. Flanagan, Hillier. Well, they've got numbers, though. They're going to get out of trouble here as McMahon goes one way, then steps back in, and then goes in short to Braden Taylor. Braden Taylor has a runner, and that runner is Lewis George from outside 50. Goes towards goal. Last line of defence, though, was the St Mary's Matty Green. And punched it through for a point. Let off. Green to Hillier. Both sides prepared to run and carry.
One straight kick in this one now. 6-point lead to St Mary's.
Green from fullback gets it off Lucas Jellyman Turner. It's very short into Oborn. He balks and then tries to step back in, but he's wrapped up by Patrick Doyle. Flanagan couldn't get clean hands on it. Neither can Braden Taylor. Lurking is Lant. Oborn tries to punch it clear. Taylor, though, puts his body on the line. Over there was Jet Trotter as well.
The umpire's going to throw that one up.
Trotter injected into the midfield to try and give them some extra run. Gee, Braden Taylor has had a great game for Pints, the number 31. Smothered off the boot. Comes to the Saints, number 31, Jai Hartung. Doyle again. He's been good up defensively. Trying to kick it into space. Ryan Smith going back will take it over his left shoulder. Smith can go wide there, and it's looking for Luke Hillier. He marks it. Under pressure, though, from Sylvie Yusuf. Hillier just gives it over the top to Parnell. Kieran Parnell. Parnell on the run. Oh, Paredes had it, bounced off his chest. Waiting for it there was Yaron. Well, they're in trouble now. He tried to take on his tackler, and his tackler has come up with it in the end, and he's been pinged for holding the ball. It was Mitch Musgrove. He tried to take on Mitch Musgrove. Big mistake. And directly in front, Saints get a free kick.
Hartung there, when he kicked that ball in earlier on, he's jarred his left leg, and they're working on it now on the boundary line, but he didn't look in good condition when he was coming off. I thought it might have been a knee, but they're working on his lower leg, so maybe just cramped up.
Mitch Musgrove. Can he turn 7 points into 13? I think he has.
Yes,
Directly in front. Makes no mistake.
That's Mitch Musgrove's first goal of the day, and St Mary's looking really good now. 8 goals, 12, 60 to 7 goals, 648. It's been a while. Pint kicked off well, got 3 goals in the first quarter, 3 in the second, but since then they've only managed to put 1 more goal on the board since half-time, and St Mary's have just chipped away at that lead and now look pretty comfortable. And unless Pint can do something in the next couple of minutes, we're into the 15-minute mark of this final quarter, so about 7 or 8 minutes to go, you would think. So Pint's going to have to get the next one, else this will be pulled away from them.
Yeah, Ethan Smith just tried to take on Mitch Musgrove there. Ryan Smith, Carter, coming through. Braden Taylor again. Geez, won his hand. Plenty of clear outs today. Braden Taylor gives a long handball over to Shot. Shot hurried. They're under pressure though. Cleaned up by Vallejo, and it'll come back to Lucas Hillier. Hillier puts it out in front of Yaron. Yaron got his hands on it, punched away from him though by Ethan Smith. Smith again, burrowing. So too is Mullane. Yaron though, persistent. Ahead over the ball, allowed to let go. Picked up by Musgrove. Inside out kick to the centering corridor is marked by, is it Oborn? Yeah, it is, Luke Oborn.
He's going for his 3rd goal here.
And based on his other 2 goals, you'd think this is well within his range. Well, Nicky Yaron there was just persistence personified. He just kept effort after effort then until he got the ball out to Mitch Musgrove, who put it on the boot, and Oborn took a mark falling backwards. Great mark. Oborn didn't kick White through it. It's going to fall short. The post is moving, but I don't believe it's hit it. It's gone through for a point. I think the players just ran into it as Gaydon just runs it straight up the middle corridor. Grenfell sets himself, punched away from him. Tregoworth, and a free kick has gone against him, and it's going to go to Mitch Musgrove. Give it straight back to him, or else there'll be 50, which is not what you want. Musgrove finds Lant. Lant's just pointing to a full forward. He wants Jackson Calder to contest this. Calder is waving his arm and telling him to come. Lant. Jackson Calder flies in the pack. No one's got clean possession. Oborn got dragged down to the ground. It comes out to Jellyman Turner. Hurried kick through for a point.
Eight goals, 14, 62 to 7 goals, 648. St Mary's looking really comfortable now with about 4 or 5 minutes left to play.
Yeah, we're not far away from time on here, TIO. They've managed to get it out, though, through Gaydon. Gaydon just goes over the top. Tregoeth drops at his fingertips. Still a mark's been paid, so he must have had his fingertips under it. Now he can go wide where he's got Alex Harvey. Harvey drops what he should have taken. Taken high in the contest, though, and Harvey will end up with the ball. So he gets out of mischief there. Plays on quickly. He's got the lead, and it's Trotter. Trotter has it punched away from him by Lant. Hillier is going to lead the race to the ball, and he does for McMahon. Just puts it on the boot. Now they've got the bouncing Nate Paredes. He's got space and time. He can get a kick over the top. Yaron's got a paddock in front of him. Absolute paddock. Gets to the 50. Looking for Calder. Calder in the lead. Picks it up one way. Goes the other. Then puts it on the left boot. Trying to centre it in for a teammate. However, it's 2-on-1 and Pints are going to get away with it through Shot. Thomas Shot has to play on quickly. Yaron closed that up. Close that gap up. It's going to be loose. They can't get through to it. Corey Tim. Vallejo picks it up. Gives it back to Paredes. Paredes again inside 50 looking for Calder. The defenders cut it off. Musgrove tries to get it. Can't. Back into trouble was Doyle. Now Shot again. Still loose. Vallejo overruns it. Tregoeth comes out with it. Gaydon. It's a Ben Smythe. Smythe just barrels it from half back to half forward. The ball's going to bounce. Oborn is bouncing, running to get it. And it's going to go out of bounds. Well, the good old-fashioned torpedo from Ben Smythe.
3 goals to none this quarter. St Mary's 62, Pint on 48. And Pint have only kicked 7 points since half-time, whereas the St Mary's have taken control of this game and look pretty good from here as we starting to head to time on.
8 goals, 13. Grenfell just punches it away. McMahon, he's going to end up with it, and he does. Oh, good smother off the boot. And you can't argue, when you're this late into the game, that sort of effort, every coach wants to see. Carter versus Grenfell. Grenfell, Tregoeth, handball, kick. Chalmers with a little nudge and a mark. Well, the scoreboard says 22 minutes has gone on the scoreboard. 61 plays 48. Hurry goes back, just took the kick. The all clear's given. And Pints claw one back, but is there enough time for the Green Ants? The clock will stop between now and when the ball gets back to the middle.
So St Mary's 8 goals, 14, 62, 8-6, 54 for Pint. So there's still an opportunity, but you wouldn't think there'd be much more left in this one.
Yeah, Chalmers just using a little bit of the body there to give himself every opportunity to take that mark. Oborn not particularly happy about it, but
no.
Umpire was in a good position to see what was going on. Felt there was nothing there. And as a result, Chalmers kicks a goal. Carter again with a big knockout. Pints, this is desperate for them to win this back out of the middle. Get it moving forward. She's pinned him, so Tregoeth there. Made no attempt to get rid of it. Carried it. Wrapped up by Hillier. And Hillier chooses to go to the Vallejo half-forward flank, and Vallejo just takes a fingertip mark. Good one. Lewis George just asking the question as well. So Xavier Vallejo.
Nice defence there by Pint.
Yeah, good mark by Ethan Smith. They're just getting it moved on now. They just don't. They can't. They know that the time is against them. Oh, the kick was intercepted. It's going to go back to Bo Tedcastle. He had a chance to play on and run on, but he didn't. He knows how much time is left, and he just wants to chew up some of the shot clock, make it a little bit easier for him.
They might need to. I just saw a couple of lightning flashes, pretty clear in the distance over there. So let's hopefully they puts this one away.
Bo Tedcastle. He's kicked, what's he kicked today? He's already kicked one in the second term. Can he kick a second in the fourth?
Looks good.
And he sure can.
It's his second goal for Ted Castle. So Yarra's got 2 for them. Oborn's got 2, and now he's got 2 for Pint. Ryan's got 2, and Silveria has 2 as well. But St Mary's now looking really good at this one. 23-minute mark, final quarter. Most of the quarters have gone around about that sort of time. So St Mary's will lock up 3rd spot, you would think, from here. Southern District's on top. Waratah second on 32, and St Mary's on 28. And then it's a blanket. Darwin Buffs on 22, and the rest of them on 18, 16, and the Bombers at the bottom on 6 points for the ladder. And St Mary's looking good going into the break.
They are, and they needed to give themselves a little bit of momentum. Ryan Smith is going to have the full ball's just going to bounce though. Picked up by Lant. Braden Taylor, been a workhorse all day for Pints. Comes to Hillier though. Saints win that out in the hands of Nicky Yarran. Yarran looking for Ted Castle and just punched and gone over the boundary line.
The back line of Pint since half-time have absolutely kept these guys in this game. They've done an outstanding job. They've kept it scrappy. They've not let any really easy marks. There's been a couple of free kicks given away because it is pretty scrappy, but they've done an outstanding job in the second half, the back line of Pint.
Yeah, I think Pints, though, have got to, at some point, turn a corner because, as we've seen and we've noted, Nick, they've pushed most sides this year.
Yep.
And have come within a whisker. And as someone said to me who was a Pint supporter last week, they can't keep having honourable losses.
Yeah.
They've actually got to, they've at some point, they've got to turn the corner and turn those honourable losses into victories. I don't think they're far away, by the way. I still think they might cause some headaches for a few sides leading up to the finals. As the siren sounds to end the game, and it's all over here, and St Mary's have won this all-important clash for them in this final round before Christmas.
Yeah, it's a big win there as well. Goal kickers, Chet Trotter for Pint first of all. Chet Trotter got 1, Elliot Chalmers got 1, Brad Ryan got 2, Andrew Scavilia got 2, Brock Carter got 1, and Silver Yusuf got 1, a really good one early. And for St Mary's, Nicholas Yarra got a couple early in the game. Salmon pinched 1 there towards the end. Oborn great all day. Mitch Musgrove got 1, a couple for Ted Castle and Chiswell. Your best players on the ground today, Ash?
Oh, look, Pints dominated for 3.5 quarters, and I thought that there were a few better than Braden Taylor, number 31 for Pints. He did a great job, an outstanding job. Same with Brock Carter, and I thought their defenders, Patrick Doyle was very good. So too was their other defender in Tom Gaden. They really did a lot of hard work, and through the middle, Chalmers, as well as Thomas Schott. In terms of Saints, they had players come into the game. Hillier, they had Paredes, they had Parnell up back, and then of course Mitch Musgrove chipped in, so did Bo Ted Castle when they needed them, which was very important. So from that point of view, they would need to be happy and cognizant of the fact that they've gone into Christmas with a win.
Yeah, absolutely. We said they needed some winners in that second half, and they all came up about it. So as we go into Christmas, you've been watching the AFL NT's coverage of the 2022-23 NTFL season from TIO Stadium. It's been a pleasure to host this evening. My name is Nick Danks. I was joined by Ashley Manakaris. Thanks a lot, Ash.
We'll see you next year.
See you.
Number Football Club, a great game in the NTFL at TIO Stadium, and thank you for being a part of the No More round. For more information, it's takeaction nomore.org.au. Everyone have a fabulous night. Merry